is not the time to eat less to lose weight. A good balance of carbohydrates, protein, and dairy foods is never more important, as breastfeeding can make you extra hungry. Some foods that can help improve the quantity and quality of the milk you're producing are oatmeal, green leafy vegetables like spinach, oily fish, lentils and pulses, brown rice, nuts and dried fruit, and fennel and fenugreek seeds. How a baby reacts to your diet can vary, and whilst it's good for the baby to experience different tastes and smells through your breast milk, it's a case of trial and error. Some babies may show signs of lactose intolerance through mum eating a lot of dairy. If you think your baby is suffering diarrhea, eczema, bloating, constipation, to name a few symptoms, try eliminating certain foods from your diet to see if there's an improvement. Don't overdo it on caffeine and alcohol, as both can affect your baby when passed on via your milk. It's also essential to stay hydrated when you're breastfeeding, as it's very important for breast milk production. I always made sure I had a large bottle of water to hand before I sat down to feed, as I'd quickly become really thirsty. The official guidelines are to feed your baby solely on breast milk for the first 6 months, but you may decide that breastfeeding isn't for your baby, and the reasons for this are broad and wide. Whatever your reason, you've got one, and that's good enough. Some possible reasons for calling it a day on breastfeeding are: you're not making enough milk, so your baby's not gaining weight. You've been ill and your milk production has lost momentum. You've had mastitis, painful engorging of the breasts, which can lead to your milk supply drying up. You're simply too tired or overwhelmed by the breastfeeding schedule. If you've reached this point and are feeling dreadful about it, ask yourself how many people you know who weren't breastfed. Do you think it's had a detrimental effect on their lives? The answer is likely to be no. So why do we put so much pressure on ourselves? A contented baby and equally contented mummy is the most important thing, so be at peace. How to breastfeed. It amazes me how newborns put onto the breast immediately try to latch on. It's as if they're saying, "Come on, mum, I know how to do this." Did you know that your newborn just happens to be able to see as far as the distance from your nipple to your nose? So as she is feeding, your face is the clearest thing to her. And your nipples have expanded and darkened during early motherhood, so your baby can find them easily. Mother Nature really does think of everything. But remember, no two babies are the same. The bottom line with breastfeeding is, if your baby is happy and gaining weight, you're doing the right thing. You may be told that if you're doing it properly, breastfeeding won't hurt. Rubbish. It's likely to hurt for the first couple of weeks, but once you've got the hang of it, it should get easier. If it doesn't, seek help from your health visitor, midwife, or GP. To be able to feed your baby is a special bond, but there are plenty of other opportunities to bond, so don't worry. Getting your baby to latch. Just as every baby is different, every latch is different. If your baby keeps coming off the breast or is uncomfortable, simply try putting her on again. It takes practice. Make sure you are comfortable and your baby's mouth is level with your nipple. She should be close enough to reach the nipple without straining, with her head and body in a straight line. To encourage your baby to open her mouth nice and wide, touch your nipple to her lips so she can taste the milk. Then, as soon as she opens her mouth, move her head up and over the nipple, pushing as much of the areola in as possible. Free the bottom lip if it gets dragged in slightly to perfect the seal around the breast. The tip of the nipple should be deep inside her mouth, or those strong little gums will hurt it. Don't worry about your baby not being able to breathe whilst feeding. As long as you're gently supporting her neck and shoulders and not clamping her head against your breast, she will pull away if she needs to. A good latch will mean your baby is positioned really closely against your breast. Us mummies are all different shapes and sizes, so you may have to forge out the perfect mouthful. To do this, hold your breast from underneath and use your thumb and fingers on either side to squeeze the nipple and the areola into a shape that's easier for your baby to take. If your baby is latched on correctly, after a few rapid sucks, she should revert to slow, rhythmic sucking, which you can watch with great satisfaction as she gulps the milk down. Try to get your baby to empty one breast before offering the second. When she is really small, she probably won't take the second, but if you've stuck to one breast, you can be more sure your baby has completed the milk cycle and taken all the nutrients she needs to get out of a feed. For the first few minutes on the